For generations, the Sabodola mine stood as Senegal's proud legacy, a testament to resilience, sweat, and dreams. Its golden veins ran deep, echoing the hopes of countless families. However, in February 2021, the Senegalese government, under former President Macky Sall, sold the Sabodola mine to Endeavour Mining as part of the acquisition of Teranga Gold. As a result, Endeavour now holds a 90% stake in the Sabodola mine, while the remaining 10% ownership belongs to the government of Senegal. As we navigate the complexities of our nation's future, your voice matters. Senegal English Media Group is committed to fostering dialogue, promoting transparency, and amplifying diverse perspectives. Here's how you can get involved. Like and share our content on social media platforms. Show your support for independent journalism that seeks truth and accountability. Follow us to stay updated on the latest news, analyses, and thought-provoking articles. Subscribe to our newsletters and channels. Be the first to receive breaking news and in-depth features. Leave a comment. After reading an article or watching a video, share your insights. What do you think Senegal should prioritize? How can we build a stronger, more inclusive nation? The Sabodola-Massawa mine, located 630 km east-southeast of Senegal's capital, Dakar, stands as the largest gold mine in the country. Operating for over a decade, it extracts gold from several open-pit operations situated on the highly prospective Birimian Greenstone Belt. By selling the mine, Senegal committed treason against its people and future generations. This act of relinquishing natural resources that rightfully belong to the nation echoes through time, a betrayal etched into the very fabric of our collective heritage. Meanwhile, the expertise of the diaspora, honed in distant lands, yearns to contribute. Unfortunately, the mine slipping away may hinder their ability to bridge the gap between promise and reality. Their acquisition was swift, a financial chess game played behind closed doors. The ink on the contracts barely dry. They stepped into the mine's cavernous depths, their footsteps echoing where miners once sang songs of hope. The Sabodola-Massawa mine represents a tremendous asset with the potential to improve further. Endeavour Mining has identified over 15 potential exploration targets within 30 kilometers of the Sabodola plant. Their goal is to discover between 2.3 and 2.7 million ounces of indicated resources over the next 5 years. However, with Endeavour Mining now owning a 90% stake, Senegal's control over the mine has diminished. The government's ability to shape mining policies and ensure optimal benefits for its citizens may be limited. Poverty in the heart of a gold mine. The decision to sell the Sabodola mine was the most heart-wrenching action the government of Senegal has ever taken. This national resource, protected by law, has been wrested away from generations of Senegalese to come. The profits from the mine now flow abroad, leaving Senegal's shores and its people in the depths of poverty. The mine's revenues, which could have contributed to the country's development, are now benefiting foreign entities. In the heart of Senegal, where the sun kisses the earth with warmth, lies the Sabodola mine, a paradoxical symbol of both hope and despair. Here, generations of Senegalese have toiled, their sweat and dreams seeping into the very soil they tread upon. The decision to sell the mine was a seismic shift, a rupture in the fabric of their lives. The government, perhaps blinded by short-term gains, overlooked the long-term consequences. They traded gold for foreign currency, but in doing so, they unwittingly sold the villagers' future. The mine, once a beacon of promise, now stands as a monument to heartache. Families who once tilled the land, nurturing crops that sustained them, were uprooted. Their ancestral connections severed, they became wanderers in their own homeland. The earth, once yielding sustenance, now yields only fragments of gold, just enough to keep hunger at bay. The profits flow like a river, but it's a river that meanders far from Senegal's shores. Foreign entities reap the bounty, while the villagers watch from the sidelines. The glittering metal, once a source of pride, now mocks them. It's as if the gold itself conspires against them, slipping through their fingers like sand. Desperation drives the villagers. They dig into the earth, their hands raw and calloused. Each clump of soil holds the promise of survival. They sift through the debris, hoping for a glimmer, a tiny shard of gold. Mortar and pestle become tools of necessity, grinding rocks into submission. The sand separates from the precious metal, and they collect these fragments like breadcrumbs. Their meager earnings buy sustenance, not prosperity. Food becomes a currency, the only currency that matters. They barter with hunger, trade with desperation. The gold they extract is no longer a symbol of wealth. It's a lifeline. It's the difference between survival and surrender. The mine's revenues, diverted elsewhere, echo through Senegal's history. The villagers, displaced and dispossessed, carry the weight of this injustice. Their ancestors, who once danced on this land, now weep silently. The gold that once adorned their necks now graces foreign vaults. Government's role. The new government, while not responsible for the initial sale of the Sabodola mine, now bears the responsibility to rectify these actions. They must navigate the delicate balance between honoring past commitments and forging a new path of integrity and openness. Recommendations. To navigate these troubled waters, the following steps are recommended. Contract renegotiation. Revisit revenue-sharing agreements with mining companies. Ensure that a significant portion of profits remains within Senegal. Diaspora engagement. Harnessing expertise. Senegalese abroad possess valuable expertise. Create specialized sections within government departments, staffed by diaspora members who excel in various fields. These experts can advise, innovate, and contribute directly to decision-making. Establish channels for collaboration between the diaspora and local officials. Whether through virtual platforms or periodic meetings, encourage dialogue and knowledge sharing. The diaspora's insights can enrich policies and projects. Community engagement and empowerment. Establish a transparent dialogue with affected communities. Involve them in decision-making processes related to mining activities. Create community development programs that empower locals through education, vocational training, and capacity-building initiatives. Invest in infrastructure and social services in affected areas. Sustainable mining practices. Encourage responsible mining practices that prioritize environmental conservation and minimize negative impacts. Implement strict regulations for waste management, water usage, and land reclamation. Promote the use of modern technology to reduce environmental harm. Land rights and compensation. Protect the land rights of affected villagers. Compensate them fairly for displacement and loss of livelihood. Explore alternative livelihood options for those displaced by mining activities. Local economic diversification. Invest in diversifying the local economy beyond mining. Promote agriculture, tourism, and other sustainable industries. Provide training and resources to help villagers transition to new livelihoods. Environmental monitoring and enforcement. Strengthen regulatory bodies responsible for monitoring mining operations. Regularly assess environmental impact and enforce compliance with environmental standards. Corporate social responsibility, CSR. Hold mining companies accountable for their CSR commitments. Ensure they contribute to community development. Encourage partnerships between mining companies, NGOs, and local organizations. Long-term vision. Develop a comprehensive long-term plan for the region. Consider the post-mining phase and how to sustain communities beyond the mine's lifespan. Invest in education, healthcare, and infrastructure to improve overall well-being. In essence, while the sale of the Sabodola mine can attract capital and potentially stimulate economic development, it is crucial to acknowledge that the profit flowing abroad holds far-reaching implications. The Sabodola mine isn't merely a financial asset. It is part of our collective heritage, a legacy entrusted to us by past generations and meant for those yet unborn. As a natural resource, it belongs to the people of Senegal and to future generations. The profit flowing abroad isn't solely financial. It is a betrayal of our collective heritage, a theft from the hands of generations yet unborn. To safeguard the interests of local communities and protect these natural resources, we must craft policies. Otherwise, the long-term consequences could destabilize society, leading to heightened poverty and social discord in our nation. No government, no president should have the right or the authority to sell our shared inheritance. The call to action is clear. We, the people, and our government must unite to forge a future that respects the laws of the land and the aspirations of its citizens. It is imperative to preserve Senegal's wealth for generations to come. What are your thoughts? Share them in the comments below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe for more exciting content from Senegal English Media Group, Senegal's first and only English media outlet.